What makes a main character? Is it strength, power, good looks, the ability to scream a lot? Or is it longevity? Maybe it's that. But what happens when it runs out? Do we care? Do we stop trying? Do we care? Wait, said that already. Anyways, what to do with you, our old friend? So, what do you think about the Chinese government?
And we've already fucked up.
I mean, I don't even know if this is recording.
It says it's recording.
So, and that's when I said the Chinese government really needs to lay up. Oh. USA. But anyways, welcome back to another edition of this. We got Williamson, that's you, right?
Yes.
Okay, I get confused about that. And I'm
Foster.
Right.
And Raglan's here.
No one cares.
Did you hear something?
No.
All right, and on this week's edition of this, I don't even know why I'm stalling. I'm actually going to edit this part out and add something else. We're going to be talking about everyone's favorite Pokemon trainer, Ketchum Ash. Ash Ketchum. That's his name. So what's it been, Williamson? Like 3-4 years since the anime started?
We were both 5 when it started? Maybe?
I feel like it's legitimately as old as us at this point. It's been like 20-something seasons.
Let's see.
I want to say I'm pretty sure it started in like the late 90s, like 96
or 97. But yeah, it's been around for a while, and almost every single character has been switched out. Brock, Misty, May, the other girl. Meanwhile, we still got Ash Ketchum. After 20-something years.
Yeah, we were 2 when it premiered in Japan, and actually not even 2. And not even 3 when it premiered here.
Wow.
And yet Ash hasn't aged a day.
Yeah, so that's the thing. A lot of people grew up with Ash. A lot of people really like him. A lot of people are starting to realize he's not really my type of character anymore. So I want to go into a couple of things, and I'm going to split this up to make it a little easier. First part, do you think he needs to be replaced? Second part, why? Like, I feel like the first part's a yes or no question, so that'll be relatively easy to do. The second part, why? The third part, who would you replace him with? And the last part, I want to hold off on until we've gotten through more of this conversation.
Okay.
So do you think Mr. Ketchum needs to be replaced?
I'm trying to think of how to put this. It's actually a yes and no from me.
Okay. This is already getting fun.
The reason it is because I feel that they probably should keep Ash around for the younger audience. They can make Pokemon I would say they need to split the anime in two now. They've got two massive fan bases, but it's little kids and then adults now.
Who probably should be finding something else to do with their lives, but we're still here.
Yes. But to do that, I would say keep Ash for the 10-year-olds and younger. Have him continue this anime series. But then I would start one. I really don't know whether I want them to do the main game characters and tell their stories, or create some new character who goes through all the regions but is dealing with Team Rocket's actually violent.
Yeah.
Team Magma and Team Aqua are seriously about to destroy the world to make their dreams reality.
Yeah. I'm gonna be straight up. My answer is yes. My answer is because we've had the same character for about 20 plus years. Yu-Gi-Oh! Replaces their protagonist every 3 or 4 years. JoJo's replaces their protagonist, except those are the only two options I know. I can't think of any others. But you get my point. They replace their characters a lot. And it helps because if you think to yourself, oh, well, I'm not really feeling these characters, it's like, oh, well, the next season we're going to get a new batch. Or if you really like the characters, or as you think to yourself, you learn to appreciate the last few seasons you have with them. Because I've said before, I loved X and Y the series, and then we go to Alola, and I mean they're okay, but it's just not the same as X and Y to me.
Do you mind if I can chime in here?
If you must.
Well, I'm actually going to go with Williamson's point and saying with the yes and no situation for this one. Yes, because when it comes to the audience standpoint, a lot of people are more familiar with Ash. A lot of people can relate to Ash. So if they want to make if they want to continue his story, I say go ahead and do it. But at the same time, Pokemon as a whole, there's a lot that you can do with that universe. Just as a whole, there's a lot of different stories, different standpoints that you can go from on this one. For example, like this summer, we're getting that Detective Pikachu movie. As weird as it is, it's a unique concept in that universe.
Even though I've heard the game was not spectacular.
Probably, but to everyone their own.
Yeah, to be honest, this might be one of the few times where, to a lot of people, the movie might be better than the game. That might be a first.
And like to keep going with my point, what was that? There was an internet like YouTube series that Pokemon did, like Pokemon Origins or something like that.
That Pokemon Origins was the one with just Generation 1. Pokemon Generations was like 5-minute clips from pretty much each generation.
Pokemon Generations, basically like the fact that they went a little bit like sort of tease like, hey, this is what, it's like in the actual Pokemon world for like these different situations and such. They can build on that and make a legitimately captivating series for people.
Yes, but at the same time, we've never gotten Origins for any other series, which kind of bothers me. It's just like, no, just Gen 1. That's what they want. They don't want anything else. I'm like, no, it was good. We kind of want the other perspective. No, okay. Okay, so we kind of delved into what we think if he should be replaced. You guys say yes or no. I'm completely on the train of yes, get rid of him. And the reason, more or less, I say why isn't necessarily because, oh, well, every other character's been replaced. It's more or less because, let's think about this. Ash Ketchum, he's not, he's a good person. He's a nice person, but he's not the smartest. He's not the best trainer. He's pretty oblivious most of the time, obviously. And, obviously, he's 10 years old. We couldn't make him 100% completely serious and brooding. Not a lot of 10-year-olds can relate to that, at least for the next couple of years until puberty starts to hit. But the way I see it is, what do you and I, Williamson, we watch the tournament battles whenever they happen. Whether we're a fan of the series or not, we always look forward to the tournament battles. But what's the one thing in particular that we always know is pretty much going to happen?
Ash is going to lose.
Come again?
Ash is going to lose.
Yes, exactly.
I was gonna say I don't even watch the series yet. I know that.
Yeah, it's pretty much a thing. Birds are gonna fly, fish are gonna swim him, John Cena is God, and Ash Ketchum's gonna lose the tournament.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I knew in X and Y that he wasn't going to win. But now you get Alola. If they even do a tournament, I don't know what their plan is to how they're going to end this series. Because
I feel like I heard there was going to be a tournament, but I have no confirmation on that.
what are they going to do? I mean, because I will admit the animation in Sun and Moon is very fluid and very nice, and
Yeah.
I just don't like how they redesign the characters. That's my personal opinion.
I feel the same way, but after about 3 seasons, 2 to almost 3 seasons of it, I'm just so used to it. It doesn't bother me as much anymore.
Yeah, it's just so goofy now. The way they've made him act versus, yeah, he wasn't stoic, but he would become a good trainer in the last series.
Yeah, there were even parts where you knew in the last series, oh, he's going to be serious for this battle. He's going to think things through and that sort of thing. But they would also contrast it with moments of Clement being like, oh yeah, this is how this invention works with all the, and he would use all these fancy words, and Ash would be like, that's great. I wish I knew what that meant. Kind of, it was a good contrast. They didn't make him too goofy, but at the same time, they didn't make him too serious. It helped with
It
it.
made him a dynamic person.
Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of people say, well, the reason we don't want part of the problem is even if he does win a tournament, he's Ash's goal to be a Pokemon master. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, they really
And
have not said.
like, is it collecting every Pokemon because you're terrible at that? Is it winning every league championship because there'll be about 18 more seasons until no, the series is going to go on forever. What am I talking about? Well, even past the end of time, they're still going to find a way to make these games. Anyways, but in all seriousness, no, a lot of people are saying, well, if he wins the tournament, one, we don't know what it means to be a Pokemon master, so that wouldn't really solve much of anything. And two, because if he loses, it kind of teaches kids, hey, it's okay to lose. You can get back up and keep trying. And that's a great message to send to kids. It's one thing to have a super powerful character who wins in the end, but it's another to have one that says, I lost, but I'm going to show humility and respect, and I'm going to keep moving forward on it. That's a good thing.
And that's kind of why I was saying yes and no, because they can use the Ash Pokemon anime to tell that story, and yeah, it's okay to lose. You can always come back and try to improve. But then have the new anime, whatever it is, be the trainer, whoever it is. If it's changing every few seasons or every season, they win in the end.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
become the
because
new champion.
and part of my point was it's okay to teach kids it's fine to lose, but isn't after about 20 something years of that, wouldn't another powerful message be even if you win, even if you make it to the top of where you want to be, you can still keep improving from there?
Yes.
And a lot other people said, but if he wins, the next time he loses, it's going to be a big deal. If he loses again to a level 5 Snivy, then that's going to make his championship win mean nothing. And I thought to myself, okay, how about this? Have him win a tournament, move on to the next region, and then like maybe a few gyms in get beaten, or through the Elite Four and have the champion of the region beat him. Like it still makes him look good. Like even if I lost, I still have this championship with me.
Yeah, but back to Alola. Sorry, I meant to say this earlier. When it comes to Alola, because of its more comedic elements, I'm afraid. I mean, Ash came in second in the last tournament.
Yeah, second place.
Are we going to have another? I can't remember which generation. It's either Sinnoh or Unova, where he was like top 4, and then he dropped to like the top 8. And I know it was like he lost to someone who had like legendary Pokemon or something, but
yeah, that's another point for a completely different video. I don't know how the hell that happened.
But in this case, how far is he going to make it? Is he only going to be in the top 16, like in his first journey, or are we going to get him fighting in the finale again?
I mean, I guess my thing is, with the exception of his group, like Kiawe, Sophocles, etc., they've introduced Gladion, they've introduced Hao in the third season so far. If you're watching the English dub, I have no idea about the subs. I don't really bother with that. But there's not a whole lot of notable trainers that he could lose to, unless, of course, they just decide that let's just bring in this random person for him to lose to. But I don't know. So I guess my next part is, like, I agree with you guys. Another series or something like that would be great, but let's pretend they don't go that route. Let's pretend this is the series they're deciding to stick with. I'm going to throw things to you, Williamson. If they had to replace Ash Ketchum, who would you replace him with?
I think the best thing that they could do if they're only going to run one series, it would be to do it as a completely new character.
Okay.
I really, yes, I would like to see all the game trainers telling their story every few seasons. It changes to the next generation, the next trainer. But in reality, while I feel like that would work for a little while, eventually you could run out of trainers. And
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't, do you really want them to create character for the silent protagonist? I mean, that's who you've always played as.
I mean, in one sense, I agree, but then again, there is the Pokemon Adventures manga, which it takes the silent protagonist and actually gives them a sense of personality. Like the protagonist from Diamond and Pearl he's kind of nerdy, a little bit more comedic than most protagonists we've been used to. Brendan from Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire is kind of cocky, that sort of thing. And so they're not all the same character, but I do agree that in a sense that it could get kind of tiresome if people start to think, okay, we already have the games. Why do we need 300 episodes of series with these people? Or however many episodes they have.
And a problem would be the start. I mean, who's it for if okay, let's go back to the start. Well, that means going back to Kanto with Red. Yes, there are a lot of people who like Gen 1, but I think the majority of the fan base would want to see new people. If we're going back to Kanto, I want something new at least. Not,
Yes.
I don't just want the same characters, especially because we got the which one was that? Chronicles? No.
You mean Generations was the online thing that was like 5 minutes apiece?
No. The one that was like 4 episodes with just Gen.
That's Origins. That's
Origins. Sorry, there's so many side shows now.
Well, trust me. There's this meme online where it's like, if you want to make a good Pokemon series, just take out Ash, because we have the Pokemon Mega Evolution Special, we have Origins, we have Generations, and those are all great. And then you get to the main series, and people are like, "What is this? I haven't watched Pokemon in years. What is this? What's the animation?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, Ash looks like that now." Really? Yeah. He's won a tournament though, right? Oh, buddy, you have too much hope, don't you? But like going back to it though, I do like the idea of just somebody brand new, not necessarily a game character. On the other hand, though, they have kind of teased this in the past, because if you go back and watch some of the Pokemon movies, you'll see some of the game characters just standing around battling for about 5 seconds, and then they'll never be referenced again. I would kind of like how, if they did, because they seem to be remaking or redoing some of the movies, how they could have one of the game characters be like a side character, or like somebody who helps the gang through one, maybe two of the movies out of the season. That sort of thing.
That would be cool, especially if, yeah, make him almost a recurring character through just the movies. Maybe if they actually want him in the anime, make him appear in the tournament. So it's
Yeah,
like,
they don't have to be the main character, but at least show them enough so people who like Ash can be like, oh, I like Ash. He's my favorite, so I want to see him through his journey. But other people can be like, oh, well, I like Brendan or Gold or Santa Clara or whoever you want to call him. So I want to see at least them as a rival, whether it be a slightly more antagonist or friendly or however you'd want to do it. I personally take it from the Pokemon Adventures manga, even though I've seen I've read like two of the books basically, but I think that's an idea. What do you think, boy?
Well, I'm going with a slightly different route, but at the same time similar to what you're referencing to. So I'm actually not going to go with someone from a manga, or not necessarily someone from a game. I'm going with someone that has been shown up in the series before, and have them take over Ash's role. Now, if you've seen the first Pokemon Roundtable that we did, you know that I'm partial to the Hoenn region.
Yeah, yeah. And if you haven't seen that video, go to our video, find it, put a dislike, and then come back.
Yes, but I'm partial to that region, and like whenever that region was, I was all for Pokemon.
Of
And
course.
there for the manga for the anime that came out with it,
Yes.
there was actually a lot of good characters to come along with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Now I'm not gonna go with before you say anything else. I'm not going with May. All right, because
we already got her. We already got her as one of Ash's companions, so that'd be fine.
yes. But I'm gonna go with one of Ash's companions to take over as the lead. I'm going with Max. There is her little brother.
Oh dear.
Now, hear me out on this. Now, whenever we saw him in the anime, he wasn't old enough to really be a Pokemon trainer.
Sure.
And that's kind of why he tagged along with, Ash throughout this whole entire journey to kind of get that experience, more or less.
Which was odd because in the games it showed little toddlers who were Pokemon trainers for you to battle.
Yeah,
So,
like, for example, what the heck is a bug catcher then?
yeah, so the laws about that are pretty relaxed, but I see what you mean though.
But like we know that like from the experience that he's all about Pokemon. He likes learning everything about Pokemon. So what better way than to have him? I'm gonna do something controversial here. We're gonna age it like a couple of years or so.
Aging Pokemon. We're never supposed to talk
We're not
about.
supposed to do that.
No.
But get Max a little bit older to where he is able to become part of this thing and actually have him go out and be like, okay, I want that experience. My adventures with Ash were amazing, but I want to have my own adventure.
Yeah, and getting back, like I'm actually because I know a lot of people don't like Max, and I'm kind of it depended on the episode. Sometimes I thought, oh well, he's doing a pretty good job just with this arc of his, and there were other times I'm just like, okay, let's. You know what? If Team Rocket captures you and drops you in the lake, I'm kind of okay with it. Hope you can swim. Go for it. But I kind of going back to it, I always thought when I suggested this topic, I thought, it'd be a little too easy to just say, let's make a new character, or let's have one of the game characters do it. So, Williamson, can you think of any characters who have already been established that you might want to see if they were to take over the role?
In a similar stance as Nathan, I think Bonnie from the X and Y could make a good character like if they aged her up a few years, so it's a few years later. I think a good arc to start would be her having to get enough badges to be able to challenge her brother to a battle.
Okay, yeah.
And that'd be a good way for her to start her journey, and then I think she could make a good lead. Because Max had one good relationship with a Pokemon, and that was the Ralts in like one episode.
Yeah.
But she had Dedenne, Lapras, the fossil, I can't remember what.
The movies aren't canon. No.
Anyways.
The fossil Pokemon, I can't remember what its name is now off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And then,
no, I get what you mean. She had, yeah.
She's already almost got a full team for her first journey. established in a way.
That would be kind of interesting if she went back and found every single Pokemon she had an encounter with, saying, all right, you're on my team, you're on my team. The Zygarde I take care of, you're on my team. I'm like, but Bonnie, you're not supposed to have a legendary. Oh, she has a legendary on her team. Your move, Ash.
And an interesting thing they could do is have Ash's Greninja possibly team up with her, at least for the first arc. That. Because remember, he left it in Kalos, so if her first journey is Kalos again, then she teams up with his Pokemon. I think that could be really cool.
I'm going to be honest, part of the thing, I would kind of like to see, because I saw this video a little while ago of top 10 people who we'd want to more focus, or maybe game characters who aren't the protagonists that we want to see. I kind of want to see, like, for example, Wally, your rival from Hoenn in there, because he didn't get a counterpart in the show. He didn't. I don't remember him being in Generations at all. They didn't even give him a cameo in one of the movies. He's pretty much a game exclusive / manga exclusive character. So I think it could be like a different starting point. Maybe he's not even the protagonist. Maybe he's just part of the group or something like that, and you can have somebody else, maybe a brand new character, interact with them. Another one I was kind of thinking of, maybe not as a main character, but maybe also somebody who's just part of the group. I know you weren't the biggest fans of Contest, but what's her name from the Hoenn game? Licia. That what's her face? Yeah, her. Obviously, once again, she doesn't have to be the main character if you want to stick with okay, I want to do all these gym battles and everything. Or maybe it's a sense of, I've done everything I need to do as a coordinator. I want to challenge I want to get gym badges now. Well, I'm already really good at contests, so it's basically the same thing, only for her to realize, no, it's a lot different. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that would be interesting. If they wanted to go for an almost more game-like feel, where to feel that you've completed a region, have the character do both. It's you travel on your own. You may meet up with people like how you meet up with the other whoever you didn't select, or other side characters as you go along. But then you take the gym challenge or whatever the region's challenge is, but you do the contests, or if you, I guess, is it performances in Kalos?
I guess. Those were never the episodes I paid the most attention to be honest.
But do, like, whatever the side thing is, and you want to be the best at that as well.
Yeah, I could understand that. And a couple of people, I remember suggesting, maybe we could get a villain's perspective for one of the not hero people. And I'm like, that might be interesting, but you're also giving the chance of teaching kids, hey, you see this main character who's stealing stuff? You think he's cool? You want to be just like him? Start stealing stuff. So I can understand why they'd be a little bit hesitant to say, let's make a villain or a somewhat less than good hero be the main character.
It's like that new Joker movie that's coming out this year. You're making people feel sympathetic for the villain, which you shouldn't really do.
I mean, to a degree you can, but as long as
it's not glorifying.
Yes, because Team Rocket, we feel sorry for them when we feel sorry for them, but at the same time we know you're basically trying to steal someone's pet. You can't do that. I'm still rooting for them, but
the only way I could see them doing that is if it was a redemption arc, where they start out by they're the best at what they do, whatever it is, whether they're stealing Pokemon, using Pokemon to rob people, whatever it is, and then they meet someone that makes them question it, and then they have to, while they're still doing it a little bit, they slowly start transitioning until they realize, I shouldn't be doing that anymore.
Yeah, I could see that. On the other hand, though, like a couple of people I know one person in particular said, well, since he didn't do that much, maybe get Tracy in him to be a main character. I'm like, what would Tracy do? What would his goals even be? As a trainer, he doesn't really do gym battles or contests or anything. It's basically just drawing Pokemon and researching and that sort of thing.
The only thing I could think of, and I think they wouldn't be able to do it to a good extent would be, okay, so let's say they choose Tracy for the next series as the main character. You would have to make someone wanting to challenge the gyms or whatever the challenge is as a side character, and then have his goal is to update the Pokedex. So they go to the Galar region, and his sketches are for the Pokedex, or he's taking I would say pictures, but that's a completely different character.
Yeah, probably a better character too, but we can get to him in a minute.
But having that be his goal is to go there to observe the Pokemon and create the new Pokedex entries for Professor Oak.
Yeah, kind of like going based off what you said for our favorite camera person, Trevor. Whether you meant Trevor or you meant the other dude, whatever his name is from Gen 1.
That was who I was
camera
thinking
person,
of
but
first.
I did kind of oh dang, I'm going in a completely different direction than what you were saying. We are not synced up. Anyways, what I was kind of thinking was Tierno, Trevor, Shauna, kind of like even though Trevor and Tierno were in the tournament to be Cal's champion or whatever it was, I never really got the idea that Trevor was a gym battle specialist. I always got the feeling he's just like, I'm just on this journey. If I find something I'm into, I'll do it. Tierno's more the battler, in a sense. So maybe the three of them could go on the journey together if we ever see them again, which is unlikely, but I could get behind it to an extent.
I am kind of hoping that because people, I mean, again, it's all theories at this point.
Of course.
That Serena will make an appearance at least in the next anime series.
I think that's just the shippers talking.
Yeah, be careful with them.
The only reason I say that is because it is, again, theorized that because it's based on England, it's going to be close by, so she'll make an appearance. I think it'll be like a Dawn or May appearance in the seasons after they were the main. So she's not going to be the main companion, but she'll appear for maybe 2-3 episodes because she's doing whatever her thing was in Galar for a premiere of something.
You know what they should do to that to just really just mess with people? Do that, but not even address that she still has a thing for Ash. It's just completely and people are like, what happened? It's just like, and she just looks at the camera and she's just like, I don't know. They told me to do this. Wonder who got inside their heads. We're just sitting there like, yeah, wonder who. It would piss off so many people, but I would just be laughing because they don't even acknowledge it. Because remember, people, these people are 10, 14, 12.
They are immortal gods that will never be aged.
So that makes it even weirder. That brings up more questions than answers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I do like the idea of other characters coming back and getting their perspective on things, but I probably wouldn't do like Misty or Brock, considering we know their story. Hey, I love seeing them when they pop up every now and then, but we don't need them as like the main protagonists for series, in my opinion. We've pretty much already gotten their side of things.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things they could do, and again, this would take a lot of work and it would definitely be for if they split the series because it would be more adult.
Sure.
Would be go back and cover the different, like if you really wanted to do 10 episodes of like Lieutenant Surge, his time in the war, why he says like Pokemon saved me during the war, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the whole Pokemon War thing, that's something they've never addressed that they really need to get on sooner or later, because it's just like, oh, there was this Pokemon War. Anyway, it's time for Jim. I'm like, no. Please tell that story. Please.
What kind of war? Who's involved? Why were they involved?
But yeah, like tell the story of his time as an officer in the war. There's Mr. Fuji and God, what's his name from the 7th gym in Gen 1? Because they were supposed to be the two
Blaine.
Blaine, yeah. Because they were supposed to have created Mewtwo.
Yeah, I'd like that dude from Gen 4, the Looker. I'd like more stuff about him, like his police work and everything. I kind of want to know more like what goes into his detective work and everything.
But yeah, you could do that where rather than have the series focus around one of the main characters, it's them before you meet them. So you get I wouldn't say you could do Brock and Misty for the games where it's like, did Brock go on a journey himself? Did he challenge the league and then become a gym leader? And then what happened? Like, how did he become a gym leader?
How did he become a gym leader? How did he deal with it? Basically, like, since he was the only one. Because I remember in the first 2 episodes, they said his mom died, only to retcon that and be like, "Oh, hey, Brock, it's your mom." And I was thinking as a kid, like, but his mom was. They said, forget. I'll just watch. So like how he dealt with it, about all his brothers and sisters. Did he evolve that goddamn Marsh Stomp? Because I need to see a Swampert eventually. It's never gonna happen, is it?
No.
Okay.
Let's see. But then there's also just all like little things that are mentioned. I would say more in the games than the anime that would be really cool to see. 10 episodes. I mean, personally, I wouldn't mind a really violent Pokemon episodes covering the war if they did that, where it's not scary, but I mean, it's obvious that these Pokemon aren't fainting.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's the greatest line I've ever heard. We know these Pokemon aren't just fainting.
I don't want to see what you're like in the Pokemon War, because a little kid will be like, hey, what's wrong with my Zigzagoon? It's faint. Should I take it to a center? I'm like, it's not faint. It didn't faint.
The center's not good enough for him.
We're gonna have to put them down.
I'm telling you right now, if they had to make a series like that, that's not something that's going on Cartoon Network. That's like HBO or Showtime right there.
Hey, we could do it. Let's do it. But you know what they should do? You know how whenever we watch Sun and Moon, whether it be a good episode or whether we were just trashing it, most likely trashing it out of good fun, we'd always bring up, what would it be like if you, me, and Jabari were in this show?
Oh,
what would it be like if we were in the class sitting with these goody goods? That's what they should do. They should put us in this show.
The only problem is, I mean, again, we're 20-year-olds with too much time on our hands. That's the best way of putting it.
Hey, that could be our new job.
I would say, plus we'd have a lot more time on our hands because we never age. So
yeah, if they would just age. I was like, okay, you're gonna pay like 10 or 12-year-olds, but you get complete creative control of your personalities. I'm like, I'm gonna be a jerk, right? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, works for me.
Well, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a redemption arc where you become not a jerk by the end of the series.
Yeah, which gets completely retconned at some point. I'm just like, I've learned a lot, but I'm going to actively choose to ignore my character development. Go away. And meanwhile, Jabari would basically be questioning half the stuff in the universe. Like, what is that? What the hell is that?
Why is that thing flying? It shouldn't fly.
This is bullshit. Oh, I like that dragon. Actually, it's not a dragon. It's a ground type.
The fuck is that?
Yeah.
Unless I see it planted in the ground, it is not a ground type.
I feel like Jabari and I would be Jabari and I would be the ones screwing things up, and Richard would be the quietest out of everybody. But like they'd be like, oh, he's probably the nicest. It's like, no, I'm just trying my hardest not to be mean to you. You might want to walk away while you still have your pride intact.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And it'd just be like, so, you guys know that guy, Ruby or Brendan? Who? That white hat? white hat, something like this.
Oh, it's a cool hat. Is that a new fashion statement?
Oh, hat? I thought that was his hair. Why are you the main character? Why are you the main character? What?
Main character for what?
You see that camera? You see, you're on TV. Am I liked?
Hit or miss?
I mean, okay, but getting back to it, and also, like, I have to wonder if they decided, you know what? No, we're not going to listen to your ideas. We're not going to replace Ash Ketchum. We're not going to give you a new series. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a bunch of fogies, that sort of thing. So wondering, if they don't replace Ash, what do they have to do to make him a more engaging, better character? Or do they even need to do anything?
For the target audience, they don't have to do anything, but to keep older fans interested, I would say almost go back to having him act how he acted in X and Y, because I mean he was telling them, oh yeah, that's blank, but if you think back to like Black and White, he was a moron again. But you go back another gen, he knew what he was talking about. He was instructing Dawn on different things, like, oh yeah, here's how you catch a Pokemon. Here's that. Go get that's a blank Pokemon.
Which really makes you wonder after everything he went through in X, Y, and Z, because win or lose, he was still a great trainer at the end of it. It makes you wonder, what the hell is he doing in school?
He goes to school?
That's the current series.
Yeah, it's more they decided to take Pokemon in from a adventure style, going from town to town sort of thing, to a more of a seemingly slice of life sort of thing, which has had its ups and downs, to say the least.
Well, I'm still wondering how they're going to do the tournament, because as far as I saw, they weren't collecting all the Z crystals. So, yes, he's battled the Kahunas. I think he's battled 2, maybe 3 at this point. I don't really know. I haven't watched the anime.
He's battled a few of them so far.
But that doesn't seem like it's enough to me. Unless this is going to be like an Orange Island series, so they end with him battling the Grand Kahuna, the president of Alola.
You know, I remember when this series first came out, and I told you something along those lines, like, what if, because I originally said, what if this series isn't, like, what if it's not supposed to be as long as all the other ones? And obviously they've gone on to prove me horribly, horribly wrong. But at the same time, I was thinking, Alola's different. It's like, obviously in a good way. It's good to change things up a bit, but in a sense of, it's not really as clear cut as most of the other generations as to what the hell you're supposed to be doing. So maybe it's an Orange Islands thing. I don't know.
They haven't made it clear, and it seems like they're going to throw, if it is going to end in a tournament arc, it is going to come out of nowhere, because it's like, that wasn't the purpose of this series. And it was nice to go away for a little while, but I definitely think in Pokemon, the tournament is what it's focused around. It's about making the qualification, so getting all the gym badges, and then and then in the anime, it's always about going to the tournament and then trying to win.
Yeah. And like previously said, we still don't know what Ash means when he says, I want to be a Pokemon master. Do you want to collect every Pokemon? Do you want to be the best trainer? Well, that involves a few more steps. Like, I'd like to get into that more. Like, what do you mean? Not necessarily why do you want to be a Pokemon master, just what does that mean? Because there are so many different ways to interpret it that have never really been made clear.
Because are Pokemon champions Pokemon masters then? Or do you have to collect every Pokemon and be a champion? Do you have to just collect every Pokemon?
Do you have to do a river dance by the ocean with Bob Marley? Like, what's the deal? getting back to it, you said if you're a Pokemon champion. Well, considering Jabari has played these games, and I'm pretty sure he's beaten them, I wouldn't consider him a Pokemon master. Would you?
No, maybe it's it's such a broad statement that now that you've mentioned, it's like, what does that mean?
It's like, I'm going to be a Pokemon master. Or I'll see you later. All right, bye, random character. Or number 4. Look forward to never seeing you again. And it's just like, no. Ask him. What does that mean? What do you want to gain from that? Is it some arc you're going through? Did something happen in your past that makes you want to be the best trainer in the world? Was your dad the best trainer in the world, and you want to get closer to him? Obviously, they don't have to get that deep with it, but just something like, what does it mean to be a Pokemon master? Why do you want to go after that? Because I remember in Diamond and Pearl, well, your Professor Rowan asked your character, "Oh, well, you're filling out the Pokedex. Well, while you're out, you might as well go through all the gyms." And I'm like, why? Why can't I just do my own thing? Why do I have to listen to you, old man?
Again, I think I think something Pokemon could be really successful if they ever tried to implement it would be an MMO if they ever actually went out and did it. So you have every region, you have every Pokemon, and then I mean just a map. If they ever actually did that, where you're playing against everybody and there are tournaments. Like if you collect all 8 badges, then on this day you can log in and go to this location and battle your way through the tournament. If you win, you can face the Elite Four, and then if you beat them, you get the title of champion. And you can set a goal. I want to beat the leagues. I want to catch every Pokemon. I want to be the top contestant.
Yeah, because at the same time, they don't even have to necessarily make it just an online exclusive thing. Like they could just be like, you become champion of your own thing, and then afterwards, it's like, all right, you're good enough to go online, or you can go online at any point in the game and try. But it's better to raise your team first and then just go online and get whooped immediately, which is probably something Jabari would try to do.
As long as they didn't make it pay to win.
Of course.
Oh my god. If you could pay to unlock, like, I paid $500 and got every legendary Pokemon, so now I can build the perfect team. It's like you take the fun out of it for everybody else. So it would have to be maybe like you can purchase experience boosts if they insist on having
if anything.
I would say, trust me, after debacle with some video games like Battlefront and all that BS. Pay to win is kind of the bad word that if you're labeling onto something, your game is immediately dead. So I'm sure if they're going to add anything to do with microtransactions, it would be something along the lines of, if it's a Pokemon MMO, it would either be cosmetics for your character or like more Pokeballs like they did in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, this makes me want to do another what stuff would we want in a Pokemon game, except obviously with less people, because looking back, that was a disaster with five people trying to talk over each other and coordinate.
And only 3 people who actually really wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I looking back on it, Jogger Joe had some really good ideas at some point, and then just thinking Reese is just like, oh, I'll just beat a Pokemon with a Pikachu. It's like, it's so throwable. I'm just like, you're not helping your case.
You're not helping the situation.
But like I said, if Ash has to be the main character for however much longer this series is going on, at this point, I could believe 5 more years or 50 more years, either way. Hey, I would like more emphasis on what it means to be a Pokemon master. Anything. It could be the simplest thing of catching every Pokemon or winning every single championship. Because if his goal is to win every single championship, why is he moving around so much? Why not just stay in one region until you're absolutely sure you can win? Like, it would make the most interesting series, but at the same time, him just moving around and be like, oh, I lost this one. I'm gonna go get the other one. I won it. I'm like, yeah, but you still lost like 7 in a row. So how good really are you?
My question becomes, like the games, if you don't, once you've beaten the gym leaders, you don't have to go back and re-beat them to face the Elite Four again? Is that the same for the anime, or will he have to? Okay, you lost this tournament. Go back and face the gym leaders and come back. Is that how it works?
I don't know, but if that were the case, I'd be like, dude, you are. I don't know how. No. For me, if I was a gym leader, it'd be more like Brock and Missy. I felt sorry for you, so I gave you the badge. Don't come back here. Do not come. I love how they even address that in the Sun and Moon anime. It's just like, okay, guys, if you beat us, we'll give you these gym badges. Hey, Ash, you have those badges too, right? Like, yep, I have all of them. And Missy's like, that's because I felt bad and gave one to you. And Brock's like, huh, that does sound familiar. And Kiawe's just like, Ash, what are they talking about? And Ash like, so anyways, I'm like, you're scum. You're so terrible.
But that's the actual good comedy. I don't care for all the slapstick that they did in this new series. There's too much of it.
Sorry, go for it.
Because there was some in X and Y with what was it? Like with Clement's different devices exploding. That it was like, but it wasn't 500 times an episode. Now I will admit that there are good episodes.
Maybe every few episodes.
Yeah. Now I will admit there are some really good episodes of the Sun and Moon anime. That's just, I find there's too many comedic where the story doesn't go anywhere.
You see, in a sense, I kind of agree and disagree with you, because as somebody who's seen pretty much every episode of the English that they have out so far, maybe they've released a few more and I just need to go back and watch. For me, it's either it's way too comedic and kind of silly. I know it's a show for kids, but at the same time, as a kid, I don't know how much I'd enjoy this much silliness. And for Christ's sakes, I watch Bobo every Saturday. Still do at this point. But it was either way too comedic, or it was talking about, oh, this Pokemon's super sick. We don't know how much longer he has. I'm like, those two episodes back to back, that doesn't, no. Like, it felt like it felt like they got the order of some episodes completely mixed up. Because they start off with, oh, this Pokemon's sick, and then a couple of different episodes going into that, and then finally, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the Pokemon dies at the end, and that would make a little more for an emotional, better storytelling impact, rather than, okay, we have this, the Pokemon's gonna die. Oh, but this other Pokemon lost its shovel or something like that. It just feels weird.
Yeah, I think we've gone through this discussion before, didn't we?
Oh my, yeah, in our last video, but they haven't watched that, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to pipe up real quick with my personal opinion on how to make the Ash more interesting. Freaking make him grow older, for God's sake. Give this boy a birthday. Make him mature a good bit. I know that's kind of reiterating the whole entire get rid of more of the goofy slapstick stuff, but for God's sakes, he's been like 10 years for like 50 years, okay? Just
yeah.
Give him another reason. Give him a reason for the audience to relate to him by showing, hey, I'm getting older.
Yeah, funny thing about that, because I went back and saw a picture of somebody playing the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire games, and one of the quotes from someone said, I finally have my dream home, but the nightmare became the mortgage I have to pay. And somebody put at the bottom, Game Freak, now realizing the demographic of their Pokemon games being at least college age or older, or is finally finding a way to relate to them. And I'm like, that hurts. That hurts. I mean, they obviously don't have to go that far. I don't want to see Ash doing his taxes and Pikachu being his accountant, and Brock as a homeless man because he couldn't pay the bills, and stripping because stripping because he loves it, and not just to put his kids through college or shit. What am I saying?
He's a respected Pokemon doctor.
Yeah, that's his cover story.
But I really wish that they would take into consideration some of what the movie, because in the movies, Ash is actually technically older. Because the only reason I say that is because it's actually mentioned in one of the shorts before one of those movies that the whole thing is revolving around the 1-year anniversary of the start of his journeys for like.
Right.
So it's like, if they took that stuff into consideration, Ash would probably be, if you don't want to age him too fast, at this point, he could be probably maybe 16.
I
He's
always
older.
assumed in the X and Y, like if I just took out the he doesn't age thing, I always assumed he was about 14, and I'm like, I can live with 14. That's a fine age to be at.
Actually, something interesting I saw.
Shoot.
If you, when he, at the end of Black and White, when he puts on his gear for the Kalos region, he's drawn shorter. But then when in the very first episode of X and Y, he's actually drawn taller.
That's
And it's because if I remember correctly, they changed studios and they knew they were going for a more serious route in this anime. Which they kind of did, but he was drawn looking taller, so he was.
yeah, I guess that's kind of my problem because some series will kind of toe the line between super serious and super comedic, and it kind of feels inconsistent. I know each series is supposed to be a brand new start, but if it's a brand new start, make it a brand new start. Like, because I've kind of just speculated that the reason they don't want to is because, oh, well, Ash and Pikachu are iconic. You think Pokemon, you think Ash and Pikachu. I'm like, you know what? That's a fair point. That's a good point. On the other hand, though, when you think of Yu-Gi-Oh, you think of Yugi, you think of Kaiba, you think of Joey. When was the last time they were in the series?
A movie 2 years ago now.
Yeah, and is the series still going on?
I believe so, with brand new characters.
Yes, exactly. I am not saying we can never see these characters again. I am not saying you can never work with these characters. I'm simply saying it'd be okay if, like, for one, maybe 2 seasons, it's like, you know what? Let's see what somebody else is doing. Maybe bring back Pokemon Chronicles, but make it more story-like, because Pokemon Chronicles, for the most part, was one episode apiece, which every now and then people would get like 2 or 3 episodes. But like, I remember the main character pretty much was Richie, Tracy, Cassidy, and Biff. Those guys.
It's Butch.
I don't think so. I hate that they acknowledged that one episode. Jesse's like, isn't that Cassidy and what's his name? And James like, oh, his name's Butch. He's a little sensitive about that. I'm like, you know, and you're still doing it. You're James. If it were anybody else, I'd hate it. But you're so great. I can't. I love you regardless.
I'm trying to think. It's been a long time, I feel, since Team Rocket has actually tried to steal Pikachu. But again, I haven't watched recently. But
They're seemingly. It feels more like they're just trying to do their own jobs or sell some stuff. Like, um, uh, you haven't watched any of the third season, like the most recent season of Sun and Moon, have you?
the last episode I remember seeing was probably 1 or 2 episodes after the spoiler alert Ultra Beast arc, uh, where they actually go in the Ultra wormhole and all that.
Yeah, when I get back home, we need to meet up and we need to watch the first few episodes because there's something. It's I can't even explain it. It's kind of that wonderful. This is so bizarre. This is so out there that you kind of just have to appreciate it in a sense. It's kind of like NXT season 3. You don't really want to be watching it, but you're gonna get some laughs regardless.
You always bring up NXT season 3
Because it's terrible, but in an amazing way.
Is that before or after it was a game show?
It was during it was a game show.
Right smack
Oh,
dab in the
okay.
middle of it.
It's so bad. I need to show you clips from that because it'll pretty much remind you of the Sun and Moon anime. Except I admit the Sun and Moon anime is leaps and bounds better.
Are you sure about that?
I am positive. Considering we had an episode of NXT season 3 where people were telling jokes.
Yeah, you got a point.
And talking about llamas and mustaches and stuff like that. I think Sun and Moon can do better.
Yeah, I really think when they when they get the right mix in Sun and Moon, they do an amazing job.
Yeah.
And I, especially during the battles, I love the way the animation looks.
Yeah, that the animation works well for the battles. The slapstick stuff maybe not as much, but it does help for the battles.
Yeah. I, and I know some people are a really big fan of the animation, especially even with them, but with it being the characters. But it's just a personal opinion that I, when I first saw it, it's like, why did they soften everything? This looks more like a cartoon, not an anime.
Yeah, it looked pretty bizarre. It was pretty jarring to me at first.
And what as I said, I really like the fluid animation that I think they kind of started in at the end of uh, X and Y because I think they used a lot of it in the fluidity of the tournament and then the final battle with Zygarde.
It's like, okay, let's save all of our animation for the thing that we're gonna have everybody's eyes on. That's probably the mindset they were going for, which is kind of odd because they switch animation styles for the show itself. Meanwhile, the movies pretty much share the same art style that they have from movie to movie.
Until this next one, which is going to be 3D, and a remake of the first movie.
Oh God, I saw that. Like, first of all, it's a tangent, but I want to get into that.
Okay, go ahead.
What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on that animation?
I'm personally not a fan. I think it depends on what they do with it. If it's a shot-for-shot recreation, then I'm just going to watch the original. Because
to be fair, I don't even think the original is all that great. And here come the dislikes.
I mean, I think it's definitely not. One thing you have to admit, it's definitely not the worst Pokemon movie.
No. It is not the worst one. Maybe that'll be our next topic. Our best and worst Pokemon movies. Because I already have my worst one lined up.
God, I have to go back and watch like all of them, wouldn't I? Because I haven't seen most of the Diamond and Pearl and most of the Black and White ones.
I remember the Diamond and Pearl ones being pretty forgettable. At least based off my perspective.
But that's actually a good thing most of the time with Pokemon movies.
Yeah, I remember because I know in particular Anime America says the Pokemon movies do things a lot better than the show does. And I'm like, really? Are we watching the same thing? Because like we've said before, we love Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. We love the Volcania movie. We like Pokemon the movie 3, but there aren't a whole other ones where I'm jumping out of my seat like, okay, we need to watch this one. We need to, like, some of them are like, they're good, or I don't really care for them. And the one that I'm not going to talk about right now, it's different video, different day, Alex. But yeah. Come again? You want to say something?
No, I was going to make a bad joke for you, but I'll save it for the next movie, or the next video.
I was about to say, the next movie, are we in this next movie?
Yes, we're background characters going, fuck me too. I've got 5.
I was about to say, I'm like, my Swampert can take it on. It's like, maybe the next movie should be about us as trainers. Like, the whole world's in peril and we're just doing our own thing as buildings are burning and children are being kidnapped and that sort of thing. We're just like, well, we have to be the very best. We can't be the very best by saving people. Sorry, little girl.
So it starts out like in Hoenn after they've resurrected both. So it keeps going really bright and sunny, and then heavy rain, and they ask us for help, and we're just like, no, I got to go get more Ultra Balls, and we just walk away and we're on our way to the Pokemon Mart.
Yeah, you see, okay, all right, Game Freak, whoever, TV Tokyo, whoever, just make us the main characters. Just make us. We're the good. We're the good guys. We're good. Yeah, maybe not.
I was gonna say
we're the indifferent guys.
I say, Foster, with you in particular, knowing how you want to make your character, do you really consider us good guys?
I'm not. Hey, remember my alignment. I'm not a good guy, and I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy.
You're gonna add the old smack sound back in, aren't you?
I might. But to tie it all up, after all this whole conversation, all the tangents we've gone on, all the weird stuff we've been talking about, what are your final thoughts on everything?
Again, I really think they should split the show in two because Ash is iconic and you can keep him for the 10-year-olds and stuff. I mean,
Of course.
it's just you can't get rid of him at this point, pretty much, unless you're planning on a hard reset. And if Pokemon did that, they would annoy a lot of people.
Or if he just died.
Yeah. And then create a more serious show for older people it's still about winning and becoming the champion or whatever the goal is of that season, because it could change.
That's not just 5 minutes long.
Yes, where it's actually just
obviously it doesn't have to be like 60 something episodes or whatever. It could be like 10, 15, maybe 20 episodes of it. Maybe even less than that, depending on the type of story they want to tell.
See, that's why I think I would love. It would be another pretty much Pokemon Chronicles, but it would be they have to commit to it, and then it's 10 episodes at a time telling a story. So it could be Lieutenant Surge's time in the war, then jump to it's Lance becoming the Pokemon League champion for Kanto, and then jump to I can't remember the character's name from the contestant from
Licia?
Yes, and her story becoming the best coordinator.
Yeah, I've noticed you brought up this war a lot. If they ever do, I'm gonna tell them, hey, you need to let him write it. He's like really into it. But he's not a tested writer. Just give it to him. He said if he doesn't get it, it's gonna get ugly.
The only reason I say that is because I think it could be a really interesting show or story arc, but
no,
again,
in all seriousness, it's a really good idea, and a lot of people would be interested in it. I'm just I really do like that idea in all honesty, but at this point, it wouldn't be as much of a video if I didn't give you shit for it.
That is true. But yeah, there's all these different side characters from the games and even the anime. You can as I said earlier, if you really wanted to do something on Tracy, have him go as a way of introducing Gen 9, if they decide to do it. Have Tracy go to the region, and that's how you introduce the Pokemon is and release do it 12 once a month until the game comes out. He's traveling around a region sketching the new Pokemon, and he's releasing maybe 5 or 6 at a time.
Yeah, and at the same time, if Tracy loses a battle, it's not really we don't really think, oh, how could he lose? It's just it's Tracy. We really don't know. We don't really know how good he is in a sense. But I understand what your thoughts are about it. Boy, shoot, go now, potato.
Similar to Williamson, yet not similar, but not in my own personal opinion. I understand the importance of Ash, and I understand just how significant of a character he is. But at the same time, with how big of a universe that there is, we need some variety. Game Freak and Nintendo and all that stuff. We need some take a risk for once in your life and do something different with the Pokemon franchise that you were given.
I love how we're saying their names, talking to them directly, like they're actually listening to us. Not because they don't listen to their fans, but it's just 3 dudes sitting around talking about this. It's just you know what? Out of all these people, Ace Trainer Liam, Mr. Buddy, Joe, Eric, all those people. Let's listen to these 3 idiots. Let's see what they have.
I mean, when we did our first Pokemon Roundtable, we mentioned Pokemon with weapons, and the next Pokemon games are called Sword and Shield.
Are you serious? Keep going.
But yeah, back to my point. Should I get in the camera or
just keep talking? Just keep talking.
But back to my point. It's one of those let's give the franchise is a little bit more of a variety, whether it be something new with Ash or just someone new in general. Okay, it's the only way that we can really. It's the best way if you want to keep the audience involved while at the same time, creating something new and creating something that's memorable for the audience to remember.
I want to apologize. I don't know what came over me, quite frankly. It's just a very trying time. It's a very important subject. Anywho, my thoughts on it are, ideally, yes, I would like to move on to find someone else. I've had a lot of okay memories with Ash. Some okay, some not okay. But at some point, you have to wonder if he's not going to win, if he's going to keep failing as much as he is. Once again, it's good to show people that you can fail and still move on, but it's also good to show people you can win and still have goals past that. That I would like somebody new, a different perspective, maybe just a few seasons worth of stuff, and then if it's not working out, or if you've done everything you want to do, like, let's go back to Ash and see what he's been doing these past couple of years, or since they probably wouldn't age him. But you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I have noticed this whole time, though, the one thing that people are going to hate. Because we've talked about it, but people would be saying, well, I'd like a series about Serena. And I'm like, I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, she had a good arc in the series, where she went from all she wanted to do was just travel with Ash to she developed her own dreams, and then
I'm not even doing it right.
Yeah, I saw it. It was.
I gotta give you that one. That was. I gotta give you that. That one was good.
So, but yeah, as I said, I think if they're gonna go with an established character for a new series, I think Bonnie would be a good one because.
Yeah.
But it's. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean.
Okay. There is one time I know we're going along, but at the same time, I'm loving this conversation. I don't feel like we're running out of ideas yet, in a sense. And plus,
Yeah.
even if this video is super long, which it's starting to get, it's our video, it's our channel. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if you had to pick a group of 3 to 4 characters to be in a group together and travel across the region, who would it be? It can be a combination of game characters, manga, whatever's at your fingertips. Besides us, of course, because that would be the best answer. We'd be the best characters, obviously.
Let's see.
I think I have an idea.
Go ahead.
I didn't think you'd actually hear me when I'm whispering like this.
It's very loud.
I'm sorry. I'll just back up. So, anyways, my character. The idea I have is, as usual, one gym-oriented person, a contest or side sort of thing. If they decide to introduce something new, I wouldn't have an idea off the top of my head, obviously. So I'd have Wally, like we said, from the Gen 3 games, kind of go on his own sword journey. And several episodes in, I wouldn't want it to be like the first 2 or 3, somebody joining him. I want him to be established as his own for a little bit, for something different. And then maybe at the 10th, 9th, or 10th episode, they finally decide, okay, here we go. Let's throw him with somebody. I would kind of like, because I've talked about this a little bit, the Gen 4 protagonist is from Diamond and Pearl, how one of them, if you pick the boy or if you pick the girl, the other one would be like a assistant to the professor. I'd kind of like if if the two of them went on a journey together, because both of their goals were different, because you don't want two gym people going after gyms together, because that could get kind of tedious. And maybe throw in Alicia, the contest person.
That would be interesting. I'm trying to think. I mean, I would almost want maybe having a third person. I'm trying to think of somewhat, because I was thinking, okay, it's a time skip, and I was thinking more of like the X and Y adventure where they're traveling with them, but not really traveling together. They're all going in the same area, and have back. I mean, I would say focus on Bonnie. I would bring Max in because it's a few years down the road.
Sure.
So they're both doing the gym challenge, and so that way they can kind of be rivals for each other, and then
sure.
So they run into each other. I would say more often than like they showed Gary in the first series.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Gary was in like every 20 episodes. I would say maybe every major city they run into each other, and then maybe once or twice, or more than that, probably out in the wilderness. And maybe they battle some of the time. Other times they work together to stop something from happening. But a third character, God, I really don't know. Maybe have someone come in as a mentor figure. I wouldn't say Ash or Clement or anyone from one of the main.
Maybe Lieutenant Surge. He tells them war stories.
No, because I'm trying to think of who would be a good mentor that has been established but isn't too big. That would be interesting. Maybe, well, no, because he would be older. I was gonna say Gary, cause especially modern Gary, which we haven't seen in a long time, but is
like seen him since like the last few episodes of Hoenn. Like I don't remember the last time I've seen him.
The last time I remember, he's a Pokemon researcher. I would say maybe he's going on a journey to discover new Pokemon and decides, let me help these kids out or something. But Gary just doesn't fit right, in my opinion, now that I think more about it.
Yeah, he doesn't smell people later.
I don't know. It would. Let's see. Yeah, I can't think of a third person. I think they would just create a new third person to travel with them as maybe a mentor figure or someone going for a different goal.
Maybe it'll be Jay's favorite character, Howl.
That would actually be kind of cool, I think, because he's not too serious, at least in the games. I haven't seen him in the anime.
I've seen him in like one episode. He's pretty much exactly what you think he'd be. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but he's pretty much exactly what you think.
Yeah, he would be a cool. Okay, he's a few years older. He's maybe won a league or something, and he's just on his next adventure. Maybe he's going for the league as well, but he teaches them. Okay, well, they already know how to catch Pokemon because they traveled, but
yeah, to an extent.
Hey, look at this. This is kind of cool. You can give this Pokemon this berry and it heals them this way, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
Well, keep in mind, I'm not as well versed with the Pokemon characters as possible, so I've been taking the time to try to consider this.
He's still here.
But I'm going to switch up the formula a little bit with my three.
Whatever.
So, as you know, the main for me is going to be Max. You know, like I said, age him up a few years.
We kind of seem to be having a theme. You talk about Max a lot, and Williamson brings up wars.
War.
That's interesting.
My second one is someone that you actually brought, Foster. I'm saying Wally to be his, like, you know, to be his friend. You know,
we all seem to like Wally today. That's nice.
And the third one. So I'm thinking of someone that can relate to Max on a intellectual level, one that appreciates all the information about Pokemon. So I'm thinking of getting one of the professors to be the third companion for this one.
Okay.
Have them go into a region that they're not really familiar with, and have them learn the Pokemon as they're making their trek through.
Yeah, but aren't they all like super old? Won't their backs like give out at the sight of one Team Rocket attack?
There's one that I'm thinking of in particular. It's like I want to say it's either the Joe. Not Kanto. What's the second region?
Johto.
Johto. It's either Johto or Hoenn region.
Well, I remember the Hoenn. Professor Birch isn't really. He's not all that old.
Well, exactly. There you go, Birch. That's
Professor Elm is also one of Professor Oak's students. So
yeah, so I could see that.
I was thinking along the lines though of oh god, what's her name? Juniper, because she's relatively young, and she in the games she actually travels around the region with the characters in a way.
It makes me wonder if Professor Birch's son is Brendan or whatever you want to call him, and he's just too ashamed of him to bring up anything. He wanted to go out. He wanted to go out and get gym badges, but I wanted him to be a researcher, so we don't talk anymore.
You're not my dad.
You're not my. You know you're not my dad, right? you know this. You know this. You're not my dad. Don't stop telling people that. Stop it. But yeah, but you know me. You know I'd want to see Brendan in some way, shape, or form, and I just want him to be a total jerk. Not complete jerk like Gary was, but just kind of like a jerk who, kind of like a Barney Stinson type, like a jerk who can be funny and deep down he's a good guy, but he regularly gets sort of put in his place. Like they don't make him too much of a jerk.
I think that's actually how he is in the Pokemon Adventure manga.
Exactly like that.
Then make him.
But he also concentrates more on contests and that.
Yeah.
Put him in the Gary role just to make him a more interesting character than Gary.
Yeah. You're gonna cause us a lot of dislikes. Oh, they don't like Gary or Serena. Unsubscribe. You can't unsubscribe if you were never subscribed in the first place.
Unless, of course, that glitch comes back where you can get negative subscribers.
If anyone can do it, it's us. But I think that's good. I think we've exhausted every possible junction.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
Unless we want to make another completely new video out of exiting out of this one, I think we're good on this one.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments what characters you would want to replace Ash, or if they even should replace Ash, or what they would do to not replace Ash, that sort of thing. Let us know in the comments, because if you don't tell us, we can't tell you that you're wrong. I mean, you are wrong, but I want to be able to tell that after pretending to listen to your opinions.
We want to give you that false sense of security that your opinion matters.
Yeah, ain't that cute? But seriously, guys, let us know what you think. And obviously, you didn't have to listen to this whole spiel because it went on a lot longer than I thought it would. But just let us know if you want to subscribe. I don't know why you would, but do that. Like, share, share it with your friends and be like, hey, look what these idiots have to say. Hey, let's put some hurtful comments in there. Do that if you want to. Go after Nathan. He's the easy target.
I am.
Just talk to us. Talk to us. We can't help. We can't tell you you're wrong if you don't talk to us. Anyways, I'm Foster.
I'm Williamson.
And I'm here. I mean, I'm Raglan.
Are you though?
I mean, you hear me, right?
A little bit.
I mean, I am hearing you. And you've been listening to the Anime Egotist. And as the Anime Egotists say, if you disagree about the Chinese government, you're probably right. please, it's not like they're not gonna care. They're honestly not gonna listen. And they're not gonna listen to us talk about the government. Our so-called fans aren't gonna be still recording. Potato.